And I did an awful lot of research, trying to understand how this whole thing works. And like 16 years out, I feel pretty good. As soon as I was diagnosed, I tried to contact the best in the world. Who is the best in the world? Because I wasn't gonna go out like that. I wasn't just gonna I know I couldn't be treated locally. They didn't have enough research. They didn't have enough information for me. I'm a food scientist, so I need to know what's available. How can I fix it? I think food can fix everything, frankly. If you and when you use it, I don't think cancer's frightening because you don't have a lot of people, a lot of institutions that really understand it, and particularly us and Black folks who react a little differently than the white population. If they don't get enough studies in there, they can never treat us unless they understand how we work. And I know you're bordering Alabama. I went to Tuskegee, so I understand that a lot of African Americans are reluctant to get involved in studies, but I would suggest that they truly do. You really need to find people, studies that you understand, that you trust, and try to get involved, because that might be all you have.
Right. And when you talk about the physicians and stuff here in the Mississippi Delta, sometimes, I wonder, do they really try to cure the cancer? Because the more you keep coming and the more chemo and the more radiation I'm giving you, the fatter my pocket, and the more I'm ripping off Medicaid, Medicare, insurance and everything. But I don't know any doctor here in the Delta that would actually help a patient to get into a clinical trial. It's going to be up to people like community-based organizations like you, Mr. Warren, or like you, Ms. Dick, and myself, to go into community and realize and teach people about the importance of
and identify them. Absolutely right. Because the doctors, now they're bought and sold by the pharmaceutical people who make the vaccines, who make everything else. They really are not involved in curing. Nobody's trying to cure cancer.
Right.
There's no money in curing cancer.
There isn't, not a dime.
I was in a study for 3 years on muscadine grape skin. That's all they used for my cancer, which was very aggressive. A grape. Anybody can grow the grape. And it actually controlled my prostate cancer for 3 years.
It's funny you said that, Warren. I was watching Gunsmoke. Yes, I love Gunsmoke and Rifleman.
Me too.
And the doctor kept saying, that he was going to fix scurvy and this other disease that was going around. And he kept saying, we need to promote and make them eat their fruits and vegetables. If they eat their fruits and vegetables, he said no medicine. He said if they eat their fruits and vegetables, we can get rid of the disease. And I said, you know what? Even then they knew, and they did not have the medications that we have now, and they were healthier and it was better. But we all know your body needs to feed what the fuel that we put in it, and if we're not putting the fuel in it that it needs to get whole and healthy, which comes from the ground, all the medicine in the world is not going to make a difference. We've got to get back to naturally eating and giving our bodies again of course you need a starch, but you also need your fruits and vegetables, your proteins. You need to build your body up and cut the sugars out. It doesn't make sense that you go to chemotherapy, but then you come home and you eat fried chicken and a biscuit with gravy, and then you slice it off with, a slice of pecan pie. Your body does not need that. Your cells are trying to rejuvenate. So it's funny that you said food, Warren, because to me, that's always been a component that we've not really looked at extensively like we should. And that's one of the things that can heal us.
I think that we have, because we got a program called Body and Soul, which is a program teaching people about nutrition and physical activity. But to look at where you're from, and like here in the Mississippi Delta, you got these little rural stores. All they
Right.
sell is cold cut, bologna, salami,
Yeah.
lunch meat, pigtail, pig ears, pig feet, pickled eggs, and when you talk about eat healthy, it is
Yeah.
very, very expensive to try to eat healthy.
It is.
I know
It is.
I go to work every day. My husband work, and we are pretty successful when it comes to income. But when you go to the grocery store and try to get the right fruits, the right vegetable, and what you
It's
need to eat,
expensive.
you only
Right.
got 3 bags. You got 3 bags, that's $100 some.
A lot of politics involved in that because, prior to World War II, half of the farmers in the United States were black farmers. So they kind of got rid of the black farmer. They even got food deserts in Mississippi. How could you have a food desert in Mississippi with some of the most fertile soil in the world? How is it possible that you could possibly have a food desert? How could it be? And that's the problem. And now we're in the process of importing what we eat. That's insane. You could have to grow your own food.
Yeah,
You just really have to.
when you talk about growing your own food too, here in the Delta is one of the things that we also see too, where the food is being grown in certain areas, the pesticides and the chemicals that's
Well,
being
you can't.
found.
You
And
absolutely can't use your pesticides, and that has to be stopped. And that's political too.
and that's
All of these
cancer. That's
politicians,
related to cancer.
sure it is. I
Right.
mean, but and it's all been being approved by our so-called leaders in the government. And I know that personally because that's where I came from. That was my career, and that's what I try to talk about. You can't. You have to actually grow your own food without pesticides on small acres so that you can control it, period. It's called shared farming. You could do that with your neighbors, and you don't have to depend upon a supermarket or everything because you can't. They don't even know where the food is coming from. The government doesn't even don't have a country of origin labeling. We don't know where the stuff is coming from or how it's
being grown.
We sure don't.
So how could we
really
not?
don't.
Even for things like COVID and cancer, they can identify where the hot spots are. They know where the hot spots are. They know where to put their resources, and it's not with us. That's why I certainly applaud your institution, Freddie. I'm do everything.
It's going to be so important when you talk about the political leaders.
Right.
I know here in Mississippi, we got more African American political leaders than in the United States. And I personally don't see anything major that we can say that we have had a huge impact in making life better for all mankind.
Wow.
It just can't be no 1-2 person, but collectively everybody got to come together and say, we're going to turn this thing around and we can make it work. But when you got so many selfish people about self-centered and self-serving, we're going to forever see what we see. We're going to forever see people dying prematurely, just not from cancer, but other diseases too.
Sure.
Right now, we got the airplanes, the planes, they're flying over you. You drive down the road, they flying, shooting poison all over your car. You got poison, you inhaling this stuff.
Sure.
You got kids that's out there playing on a little playground. You got airplanes flying over, dropping poison. These things have got to be addressed, but people are so afraid. They are so afraid to step out there and address those problems because a lot of them are political issues and they don't want to lose their popularity or they don't want to lose their elected seat. But we got to hold people accountable, whether they white, black, or blue. We hold white people accountable. We got to hold black people accountable.
That's
folks are so used to saying, well, I don't want to mess with John Doe because he's African American. If John Doe is not doing his job, John Doe hand need to be caught.
You're absolutely right. And I felt that way about Mike Epsy because I knew him when he was in agriculture, when he was the Secretary of Agriculture. And I knew him. And I always thought his position was really disingenuous to our people. It really was. And I didn't understand how they got him there.
Well, Warren will definitely tell you. And, I agree with Freddie and Warren. It starts with us. If people come in our neighborhood and we allow them to break our toys and poison our people and the water and the children, and, those things happen because we allow them to happen. When one person says stop, others will gather around them. But we have to fight for ourselves. And we have to stop waiting for someone to come and save us. We got to start saving ourselves. And I applaud you, Freddie, because that's what you're doing. You're standing up in the midst of all that's going on, and you're still fighting. So I applaud you with everything you're
Sure.
doing. You're doing so much. And it's amazing because, you know, oftentimes it's one person doing all the work. There's a lot of faces on the billboard, but I guarantee you it's always that one person doing all the work.
Right. Yeah, when I was at graduate school at Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi, I had the opportunity to work with Congress Benton Thompson. At the time, he was a county board of supervisor, and he taught me. And I never thought in 1984 the stuff that he taught me then that I'll be using what he showed me now. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for that opportunity and for that internship. And then on another hand, I had the opportunity to campaign for Senator Thad Corcoran, who's now deceased. So there was a Black Democrat and a right Republican, and from both of those men, I learned so much. I learned that everybody that who people are against, it sometimes if you do your research, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
You know, we got to look at a person hard. We got to look at a person hard and say, okay, I see these people and they're really good people, and start basing things on color, start basing stuff up on economic status or either political status, because you got some good people out there, blacks and whites, that
Yes.
who would want the best for all people. And once those people are recognized, we need to work with them to the fullest, you know, and say,
Right.
look, we need to change our community. In Greenwood, Mississippi, where I'm from, if you come here, it would hurt your heart. It would break your heart in pieces to see all the trash, all the filth in South Mississippi, Greenwood, in community. I mean, trash that's been there for years and years and years. And there's no concern from your local political leaders. And these people keep voting these people back in. We got to stop voting people in because they are our friends, or they are our
Right.
family, or they are our
But
sisters.
we need to have.
We got to vote people based in. If you're not doing nothing right now as an individual citizen, you're not going to do anything when you get in. I'm a
Yeah.
We gotta have black folks have to have leverage in this country. You have to have something to say, we're gonna withhold these services. If all we have is the vote, that's not very much. We have to have something that says tangible. We are not going to grow this food. We won't provide you services. How is it that there are no black people in the whole food chain of this country? We no longer are represented at all. We don't even control our own food. I don't see how any culture can continue to exist in those circumstances. Where and in a place like that, as fertile as Mississippi, it doesn't make any sense. It was all done by design. It was all done politically, where they made sure that we could not develop ourselves. And that's why you have things like where does the trash go when you make it? What are they? Where are the services to? How is this not being taught in school? How come nobody knows about Fannie Lou Hamer? This is insane, and that's what they do. They just eliminate us from history, really.
But you know what, too, Warren? We're eliminating ourselves as well. We have to fight. You know, they can come and say, you know what, we're going to take Freddie White Johnson name off the building. Well, we could let them, or we could fight and say, no, you're not. You're not going to take her name off that building.
Well,
and then we educate ourselves as to who she is.
You have to have leverage.
We're not educating our babies about anybody. We're allowing the school system to educate them. We're allowing the neighborhood to educate them. We have to start having these conversations, you know, and learning. There's so much more as a people that we haven't even. Someone told me we haven't touched 10% of who we are and the knowledge that we have of what we've done. 10%.
Well, I like to think of it as that we have to eat. So we need to know the source of our food. Like I was going to say, medicine doesn't cure anything. Right. Medicine only arrests the disease. It only stops it. So
Right.
so now you got to fix yourself. If you go back doing the same thing that you were doing, you expect, why would you expect something different to happen? If you got cancer
Exactly.
from eating this type food, well,
Exactly.
I don't care what they do. When you start into eating that type food again, you're going to get cancer again because
Exactly.
it's everywhere.
And
It
then it's
is.
just like that with the medicine. When you take the medicine to fix one thing, it creates four other
It
things
does.
wrong.
Of
Four other
course,
things wrong with you.
of course.
So
So
you
so
know,
food has to be
so
the
food
answer.
has to be the infrastructure, the answer to our
And we have to grow. We have to start rebuilding our politicians have to understand that they need to support the black farmer. They need to, your people there that come to the center has to know that farmers have immense value. They got people, they got black restaurants that they don't even purchase from black farmers. That has to change. We got to start supporting ourselves.
It's the mindset. It's the mindset. So you put me into business and you say, okay, I want you to become an entrepreneur. To become one, and then you sitting there, everybody making money except you. All your workers making money, but nobody come through those doors. We got to teach people. People need to shop black. They need to patronize black business.
That's
Here, I
exactly
know
right.
in the Delta, when you open up a business, my husband, I had two. You sitting there waiting for customers to come, and all they making too much money. They plant the seeds in our people head to say, well, Freddie thinks she better than you all. Well, Freddie and her husband are already making too much money. Well, Freddie's driving a BMW and her husband's driving an F-150, and you actually have people walk around being jealousy
Of
because
course.
you work night and day. I tell people all the time, I'm a product of the plantation. I came off the plantation. I know what it's like to go to bed hungry. I know what it's like not to have. But Freddie chose a long time ago to get off my butt and work hard, be successful, and also to reach back and help the people behind to elevate them up. Because if we don't elevate our people and help people in time of need, rebuild, and restructure the community, we can't keep on blaming the white people. It's
We
us.
can't.
We
Oh,
need
it's
to
not
look
their
at
fault at
ourselves.
all. It's, I
We
mean,
need to look at in the mirror and say, the problem is you. I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem with whites supporting their people, hiring their people. But once God has blessed you to get in a position, what are you going to do? We
You got
are
to reach
so
back.
afraid.
You have to
We
reach
are
back.
so afraid to use our power.
Yeah.
that's it.
Afraid.
And
You got to
that
use
power
the
is
power that
leverage.
God has given you. Use it, and then whatever come from it, let the chips fall how they may fall.
That's
Whatever
exactly right.
come from it, I'm gonna use my power. Give it to me.
Same
I'm
here.
gonna use it.
Same here. Well, you know what? Well said. We have Freddie
I
White
want
Jackson
this.
on the line, and I love how she and Warren, boy, I'm telling you, we could go all day with these two, but we love it. Um, she is from the Mississippi Network for Cancer Control and Prevention, the University of Southern Mississippi, also the Fannie Lou Hamer Cancer Foundation down in Mississippi, doing awesome, great work. She's given her cell phone number on how you can reach her. You can always reach her on Facebook along with Warren. You can always reach Warren on Facebook. Type in their names, or you can always reach out to me. Victorianne Russell Walton, 301-683-8690, and I will give you their information. I can't wait to be a part of what they're doing down in the Mississippi Delta. I have always been curious about what's going on, and now that I see firsthand, it's like we took 20 steps forward, but we took 21 steps back, and there's still so much work to be done. So with the last 3 minutes, Warren, I'm going to give you a minute, and then I'm going to close out with Freddie. What do you want to tell the people, Warren?
I just want to say that I support Freddie and her institution completely, and we need that, and we need those type of infrastructures to start healing ourselves, and that's what we really have to do. We have to depend more on ourselves than we do of other people. Period. And then when we do that, they'll respect us a little more. We'll understand that we have a little leverage here, and we're able to. Institutions like this needs to be advocated for nationally, and there's too many wealthy entrepreneurs, even black athletes and so forth and so on, that should be supporting this, and I certainly will try to get the word out for you, my dear.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Warren. All right, Miss Freddie, you've got 2 minutes. Tell the people what they need to know.
I want to say at the University of Southern Mississippi, we are the only university in the state of Mississippi that I feel that are truly out there on the ground are making a difference. We are walking in the community and we are saving life and we are changing life. During the COVID event, during the COVID, when COVID hit, we got out there where people were saying stay at home. We got out there on the ground and we gave out over 100,000 face masks. We went to community where other people would be afraid to go. The Fannie Lou Hamer Cancer Foundation will be visible. We're going to work hard to reach people and save people. It's crucial that we not just get money to build for construction, but we need operation money. We need operation money. And every day I'm in my office, I send out thousands of letters all over the country. I send out 5,000 letters in 1 month, and out of 5,000, you may get a return on 30 letters. That's heart aching. That's heartbreaking. So I'm challenging people that who hear me to please support the Fannie Lou Hamer Cancer Foundation. You can support us through PayPal account, our PayPal account through the Fannie Lou Hamer Cancer Foundation at www.flhcf.com. Or you can mail a donation to the Fannie Lou Hamer Cancer Foundation at P.O. Box 755, Ruleville, Mississippi 38771. We in desperate need of your support. And this foundation is being built in the heart of the Mississippi Delta. And as Ms. Hamer would say to you, if she was still living, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am too sick and tired of seeing our people not having, need support, and people turning their head. We got to give back and start waiting on everybody else or other people to be our savers. We got to be our own savers. We got to get involved and stay involved and give back to mankind and serve mankind. Open your heart. If you got a relationship with God, and then you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Very well said, both of you. I am so honored to always have Warren, but to have a conversation with you, to learn more about what's going on down there, and now to be a part of it. I know of Fannie Lou Hamer, and someone that I support, Ambrose Lane Jr., is a huge supporter and fighter of hers in the Washington, D.C. area. I have to get you two together. But, mostly I'm proud of my people because we are going to show up. We're going to show up and we're going to show out and we are going to let everyone know what you need, how you need it. And, the God that we serve who owns all is going to make sure, because look what you've accomplished when they told you that you couldn't. They told you couldn't do any of this. And then look what you've done. 2021, you're still going strong. And, all you have to do is ask and he'll give it to us. So if no one's told you, I'm proud of you. I again, and thank you for allowing me to come along for the ride and to be a part of. We've got a lot of work to do, but as a people, we can do it. Our eyes are being opened up to so much, and we can do so much once we come together. And it's not a white thing or a black thing.
That's right.
If you look at most civil march walks were a combination of colors. It wasn't just us and it wasn't just them. It was all of us coming together for a greater good, because everyone understood a change needed to happen and that we needed other folks to come in with us as a strong bond. It's just like when you add flour to a cake. When you add that flour to all of the ingredients, it bonds it together. And that's how you get the structure of the cake. Everything comes together and you get a strong structure and it rises when you mix it. And don't let the heat fool you, because when the heat comes, a cake then bakes, it rises, and that's where all the flavors come out. So, I look at the scenarios and listen to stories of my mom and dad of what happened back then. And we're not that far. We're not that far away, but we don't give up because the fight needs to continue, and it will. We've got young blood coming in, and we've got brighter minds coming in, and we have people that realize that there's a change that needs to happen, and it's going to happen. So I want to thank you two for coming on to IITG Season Sisters Speak. This has been a powerful show. This has been a moving event. And again, I cannot wait to see what 2022 will bring to the Mississippi Delta, because Freddie is on fire and she's not stopping no time soon. So we can't support you as much as we can. And I can't, again, wait to bring the Pinky Party down to the Mississippi Delta and party in the name of cancer and do what needs to be done when it comes to educating, empowering, and inspiring in the Delta. So thank you for coming on and being a part of our show. I'm just amazed at what you've done, but I won't be shocked at what you're gonna do next year, because I see bigger and better things happening in the Mississippi Delta, and it takes all of us. We're gonna all get that done. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to
Thank you.
Season Sisters Speak, along with Freddie White Johnson and Warren Green today, talking about what's going on down in the Mississippi with the Mississippi Network for Cancer Control, Prevention, and the Fannie Lou Hamer Foundation. So you know how to get in contact with her. You know how to get in contact with Warren. It's time for us to get off the couch and get some stuff done. As I always say, Superman is not coming to you. So why don't you bring Superman to your community? And that Superman is you. Your superpowers, your super prayers, your super activity can get the job done. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you again for being our guest today. Freddie, we really appreciate you. And we look forward to having you back soon, because this conversation needs to be a part 2.
It was nice meeting you, Warren.
Nice meeting you, and I hope to get down there. I went to
Yes.
like I said, I was stationed in Pensacola, and I went to Tuskegee. So you're right in the middle. I do intend to get down there.
But
Yes.
be sure I would love to have you down here so I can just show you what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Everyone be blessed, and we look forward to part 2 coming up soon with with my girl Freddie White Johnson down there tearing the Mississippi up. We love it. We love it. So everyone be blessed. Take care, and thank you again for tuning in.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
everyone.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
Bye, Warren.
Bye.
That was awesome.